I got a sore throat, right? So my man, my little brother Hassan, he told me that his grandmother, who's almost 100 years old, told him when you can't get your voice back, take some Vaseline and swallow it, and it'll help you.
During that time when it first started popping, I was like, yo, it's like 3 million people watching me sleep at one time. This is really gonna evolve and it's gonna
Right, and
elevate.
people were like, Stephon Marbury's losing his mind. He's
Yeah.
letting people watch him sleep, and now it's like, come
Yeah.
and watch Kai Cenat and Kevin Hart sleep
Exactly.
with 10 billion people.
Exactly. But at that time, I was talking to my friends and I was like, I'm not doing anything that other people won't do. This will be part of everyone's lives eventually, and as we see it now, but not everyone was clairvoyant enough to actually go into that space to actually feel or think that way during that time frame of when all of what was going on. But the people who were creating the platforms, like, it's one guy that really is doing this stuff. And nobody could actually tell me what to do because it wasn't like I was trying to utilize it in a way to basically monetize and, you know,
Right. Yeah,
build
you were
off
just
of it.
doing it.
I was just doing it because it was a platform where I can control my own narrative and I could speak my own truth about what was actually going on. So that's why I was
Mm.
crazy. I was crazy because I was eating Vaseline. I said, dude, your mom smoked and your pops stick you talking about me eating Vaseline? I was like, nah. So, doing so I was like, yeah, if you think that I'm crazy because I'm crying because I'm listening to a gospel song and my dad just passed away, I was like, okay,
Mm.
so I'm crazy for that. I was like, you got guys crying because they lost the championship in the game, in the basketball game.
Mm.
But you say that I'm crazy? I'm like, okay. So, I think during that time, I felt like during that time, people didn't know when I actually was going crazy. When I was going crazy, when I was laying in my bed and I couldn't get out of my bed and, depressed and stuck because I had just lost, my coach 1 week, my aunt the second week, and then my pops the third week. So I lost the
Mm.
person that taught all my brothers how to play basketball and myself, my aunt, then my pops. So at that time, basketball wasn't, it had no relevance in my life as far as how I wanted to live or how I was thinking or anything. I was just like a mute. My kids was like, Dad, you gotta,
Mm.
you gotta you gotta take a shower at least, Dad. Come on. And I was just like, I'm good, I'm good. I'm not going nowhere. So what's the point? But when you're depressed and during that time, I didn't feel or think that way, but I just was sad and I was hurt and I was all of these different things that come with the emotions of losing people that you love. So, when I had the opportunity to actually release from all of that, that's when I was like moving through my depression, through all of what I was feeling
Mm.
through not being in a position to play basketball, not being able to sign another. I was used to signing max contracts. I couldn't even get a contract at this time. So that is, my brand is failing. Like literally, I'm watching it dry up because all of what's going on. So that was the time when I was silent. But when I was on live, I was like, oh, you think I'm crazy right now? I'm like, oh, you don't know what crazy is. You know what I'm saying? So I was like in a whole different mind frame and mind space as far as moving forward in my life. And then this came out, and that's how that really
I
started.
I never realized because everything from that live was put out like clips and there's no backstory. And so I honestly didn't know until right now that the reason you were crying is because you lost somebody. And I think it's very interesting that the story behind Allen Iverson's practice rant is he lost his best friend that day, but we didn't find that out till years later with the documentary. So all we're seeing is two athletes, same draft, 1996. You guys played each other at MSG. Like the storyline through line is crazy.
Classic.
And all we do is take these moments, but we don't look at the backstory of the human behind it. And now, because the conversation has changed so much, and we actually look at the humans and not just the statistics, now we can sit back and go, man, we misread that completely. But you and Iverson, it was so similar around the same time too.